Guys, I look pretty ridiculous. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the third episode of the Never Ending Project. If you're new here, my name is Sebastian, and we pretty much just do a lot of car stuff on this channel. If you've been following along, we're making a lot of progress. I did a little work off camera to get that last bolt out since it was being really stubborn and it wasn't going to be anything different from what I had already done in my last video. So yeah, I got it out. I chased the threads, all 6 bolts, thread in butter smooth. So I couldn't be happier about that. Which brings us to where we're at, which is basically now we have to clean that face of the crankshaft. And I'm going to be creating that lye solution today, which basically all it is sodium hydroxide. So we're going to be playing with chemicals today. So that's going to be interesting. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to turn out, but we are going to find out. If you've been following along, you know what my whiteboard used to look like. So props to my fiance. She went and bought me some new markers and she rewrote all this for me. So alongside making our sodium hydroxide solution, we're going to flip these around. One of the things that I do want to get done tonight is I want to try to see if I can swap the shift towers on these. So first things first, you guys, I'm gonna play it safe, and I'm actually gonna get all geared up. Sodium hydroxide is a caustic solution, or the solution I'll be making will be caustic, which means if I spill it on myself, it will melt and eat my skin. That's pretty much the best way to put it. It's really nasty stuff. Obviously it all depends on the concentration that you make it. I'm no chemist, so as the saying goes, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, and we're not about to be stupid. So I'm gonna get changed, and we're gonna get going with this. All right, so before we start mixing, guys, seriously, take safety seriously. So sodium hydroxide, like I said, it's a caustic solution. It will eat organic material. So if you get it on your eyes, you're gonna go blind. The chemical reaction, the byproduct of the chemical reaction is hydrogen gas. So make sure that you're in a very well ventilated area if you're gonna be using this stuff. I've got a respirator and I'm gonna open up the garage door, make sure that we get a lot of airflow in here. It's an exothermic solution, so it produces a lot of heat. And yeah, so we got our gloves. I got an old smock from an old job of mine. And then seriously, like these goggles, this respirator, and these gloves, they were less than $10. It's not worth it to skimp out on that and end up with, you know, missing skin and free bones. All right, so here's our stuff. I bought this on Amazon. It was like $5. Here's our water, our jar. It's advised to use glass. Plastic does work, but you probably want to stick to glass. And then another thing to note, if you are going to be doing this, please, 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 please do not dump water into the lye. You always dump this into your base. You can, yeah, just don't. So we're gonna go ahead and start mixing. I am not sure exactly how much of this I'm going to use. So like I said, this is gonna be interesting. I do wanna make a strong solution. So we're gonna be dumping quite a bit of this on here. And then as far as applying it, because I can't soak my my aluminum, or at least the aluminum that I'm trying to burn off, because I can't soak it in here, I'm gonna use a sponge to soak it up, and hopefully, I don't know how that's gonna react with the sponge. Hopefully it doesn't do anything to it. Again, we'll find out. But yeah, let's get mixing. So this is taking a little longer than expected, but you can see how the sodium hydroxide is starting to react with the aluminum on there. Now I was hoping I would be able to just kind of start it and leave it, but because the main seal around the crank is also made out of aluminum, I'm having to stay on top of it, squirting some water to kind of dilute the solution so it doesn't start eating through that, since all we want is all of that to be gone. But it seems to be working. Like I said, taking a little more than expected, but we'll keep trucking along. So it's a new day. Took a little longer than expected, but yeah, that's mainly due to the way that I'm applying it. Being that I have to use a sponge, I'm not able to actually soak the aluminum in the solution where it really does its trick. It did take a decent amount off. I'll actually show you guys here. So I still have some more to take off, obviously. I ended up buying a grinder wheel and some scuff pads. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sacrifice that grinder wheel and hopefully try to melt off or at least smear off as much as we can. And if I'm not able to completely clean it off, then we'll finish it off with some more sodium hydroxide. That stuff's pretty nasty. I don't know. It ended up, the sponge looking all crappy. The cardboard that it was dripping on, that's all, yeah, it's all pretty nasty. Anyway, what we're gonna end up doing right now, we're just gonna move straight onto the transmission. We're gonna try to get that done. And then once that's done, we'll move back to doing, cleaning off that crankshaft. All right, so if you guys are still kind of confused with what I'm trying to do, so this is like I said, this is my original transmission that came with the car. Once I swapped them out and I put the one from the insurance company on, as soon as I started shifting, the lever would not go back. It wouldn't spring back to center or to neutral, which is really annoying. So when you pull it out of first gear, for example, it'll just kind of like pop back and then just kind of chill there. It wouldn't spring back. And the shift tower rod should take care of that, hopefully. Maybe even just a fluid change, but I'm gonna see if I can take it out. So what we've got is we've got two 14 millimeters up here. We have a T40 bolt here. We got to remove the, I believe this should be the reverse light sensor or the reverse sensor. And then we've got two more 14 mils here. And then the center 14 millimeter that holds the bottom of the entire shift knob assembly in place. So in theory, this cap should come off. This cap should come off. And then with this stuff out of the way, I should just be able to kind of lift the entire assembly out. Now we'll see if that's true. Like I said, I've never done this before, so let's get cracking. So this is what the bottom of our shift tower looks like. That was a bit of a pain to take out. So it looks like I might need to order a new seal since, well, we just popped this one out. So it's always good practice that if you've got a some kind of seal, that whenever you pop it out, replace it. So now if you've never seen what it looks like on the inside, this is the bottom of our shift tower rod. Now, I'm not sure if this should just pull straight out. Obviously we gotta take care of this stuff, and then hopefully this won't be as difficult to take out. It might be, but as you can kind of see in there, it's got a bit of a cutout, so this might just slide out. I don't know, we'll see. We will see. Alright, so this looks like a bearing assembly that goes on the top, and that's where the rod kind of sits in there. So those are all our ball bearings right in there. And this looks pretty free to come up. Let's see if that works that way. Oh man, oh man. Look at that, you guys. That was actually fairly easy. So now, if I understand this correctly, this portion here and then possibly these portions down here, if not both of these, control our shift forks. So then every time you make that movement up top, it pops shift forks forward, backwards, you lift it up, forwards, backwards, you know, so on and so forth. So that's pretty cool. Sweet. So this came straight out. Now let's hope the next one is just as easy. All right, now keep in mind that if you're going to be doing it the same way that I'm doing this without actually draining the box, I would probably advise not to lay this straight down. Now I don't know if it'll end up spilling out or not, but I'm not about to try that. But yeah, so there's some gears in there, so fully exposed. And then let's see what we got from up here. So yeah, that looks pretty nasty in there. So this looks like a shift fork right here, and this would move forward and backwards. Here's that locking pin, and of course it actually won't move right now. Not exactly sure what this is. Looks like a ball bearing there. Yeah, I don't know what that's for. But yeah, so that's inside our transmission, an O2M, Volkswagen, Audi, 5-speed, 6-speed. They're both pretty much exactly the same, just the gearing's different. So now that we got that out, now we got to do the same on that one, which is the one that I want to put that guy in there. So let's rinse and repeat. All right, so it turns out that the fluids will not just come pouring out, so that's good. So now we're just going to rinse and repeat. Alright, sweet. So we got that taken care of. That actually went a lot smoother than I thought it was going to, which now means all we have left is cleaning off the crank. And now if we can get that done, man oh man, that means we can just put the T back together, the TT back together, and it should be smooth sailing after that. I don't know, I'm pretty excited. So yeah, here I'll show you what I ended up doing, or the final product, I suppose. So this is all swapped out. I went through and I was able to go through all the gears, and there we go. It's nice and bouncy. I spun it in first gear. See if you... Oh, oops. So we'll do this fun thing. So we'll spin the output shaft. And we got motion. So at least I know that this is put together correctly. So yeah, so this is my old crappy one. I'm going to be putting this up for sale. And yeah, I'll end up putting the leftovers. So just if you want to know what a shift over rod looks like, that's what it is right there. And I know tisk, I was preaching to make sure you do best practice and replace seals, and here I go being a hypocrite doing the very opposite. Like I said, because race car, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. I don't have time to, I mean, I probably do, but not really. So I'm just going to go with it. It doesn't have a ton of fluid in it for it to just spill out, so it's not going to, you know, do that. So I'm going to go with it. I'm going to use my best judgment and say that that's going to be okay. If not, well, I'll just be eating my words later, and that's okay. Well, I'll just have to deal with it then. So now, these are the two guys I bought. I'm going to run this on the crank, and then sacrifice this guy, and hopefully we make some progress. And yeah, let's get at it. You guys, we did it. I think I got it all. Let's go take a look. Oh, that's looking mighty clean. There we go. Look at that. I think we're ready. I think that means we can mount a clutch on it now. I'm exhausted, but this is awesome. That means that the next video is going to be the clutch install and possibly even throw on the transmission, which means right after that it's setting the rest of putting pretty much everything back together. I can't even think right now. I'm super excited. I'm super tired, and yeah, I think this is where we're gonna end for tonight. A lot of progress has been made. I can continue. My car's not trashed, and the project will go on. So I'll catch you guys next time. Again, thanks for watching. See you guys later.